Boozy scents. Okay, so you want to talk boozy scents. You want to know my favorite fragrances with notes of like rum or cognac or whiskey or some kind of alcoholic note in there. I have a bunch. I'm gonna be, I'm always straight up with you. It's not my favorite scent profile. However, I do have a lot of favorites in that category. So these are some of my favorites. Hello everyone, if you're new here, my name is Greta and this is my collection. I love talking about fragrances. If that is something that you enjoy or you're trying to learn more about, try to understand some of the houses or notes, or maybe just get to know some new fragrances because you're tired of hearing about the same old fragrances, consider hitting that red subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can hear about some of my newer releases and you'll get those notifications in your feed. So let's jump in here. So boozy fragrances, now it's not something that I instantly think of. However, there are some longtime favorites of mine and some newer ones that are really good because this is a category that I'm pretty picky in. I don't like a lot of popular ones. These are some that I really love. Let me start with one that's not in this list. That is super popular and you might like it, and that's okay. For me, it's just too much. And that is Narcotica Dolce Diablo. No, I did not use all this. This is you guys trying it. And I am super happy about that because I do think it's a try before you buy kind of fragrance because it's not cheap and it's not for everyone. It's extremely foodie. It's very photorealistic. It is your dried and fresh apricot dunked in chocolate and then on a plate with a pool of booze. I mean, it's extremely photorealistic. It'll have you like licking your hand. However, it's a kind of unrelenting to me. Like, I love the smell of this, getting a whiff from the bottle, but I don't enjoy wearing it. It's not something that I enjoy smelling like. So that's something to just be aware of. And that's my personal taste, just to give you an idea. I love gourmands, but I don't like too foodie or unrelenting. Like, I need it to change on me and evolve into more of like a fragrance, something more comforting. I can't do like in my face food for the long haul. It just doesn't work for me. Another one that's super popular, the men will probably like, that again was not full bottle worthy for me, is by Unique Luxury Kutai. This is just a different one from them, but it comes in these bottles. Kutai is like whiskey. Like, we're talking single malt, fine whiskey, like Oban or something. It's the really good stuff from Scotland. Anyway, it does change and evolve, but it's really like men really like that one. For me, again, Katai is just too much for me, but it's something that you might like. Now, what I do like is Broceliande by Dora. This is not a new release. I think it's 2022, 2021, one of the two, when they launched their first 6 fragrances. And is this the right one? This is Orchid Rouge. Broceliande does not smell the same on paper. And that is because I had the wrong one. Here I had these drying down for an hour, but I pulled the wrong fragrance. Yeah, there we go. Broceliande by Dora. Still smells better on skin, but it opens with a little bit of rum, a little bit of citrus and ginger, but it turns into these amazing winter baked goods gourmand with some caramel. You have cinnamon and coriander and sesame and all these kind of like nutty, spicy kind of scents, along with the sweetness of Styrax, which is like a sweet resin. Like, think of the sticky resins on trees, like the imagery of what you might think that would smell like. So it kind of comes out like this winter gourmand with this boozy caramel and not too much booze. It's a boozy, sweet, dessert-like kind of fragrance, not overly alcoholic. And it doesn't go overly foody either, which I personally really like. Um, Broceliande by Sora. This is one of my favorites. You always hear about Orchidée Rouge and Mandorle, but this is the third one from the Black Care collection that I really like. Now, one for the men that is one of my personal favorites still, and this has been out for years now. This came out in 2019. It's definitely not new, and it definitely had a big wave of everyone featuring it when it first came out, but it is still one of my favorites from a house I haven't even talked about for a while, Roja Parfums. Now, this one you can definitely find more affordable. This Parfum Cologne collection is more reasonable. I do find this one masculine, but man, it is good. It opens with almost like a cognac Coca-Cola kind of vibe, almost root beer like. There's a little bit of like sandalwood and tobacco and a little bit of sweet styrex. So that opening is definitely sweeter and bolder. But then that deep dry down is where you are left with more of this like sandalwood powdery kind of fragrance that stays in the masculine zone. That Raja powdery kind of fragrance that I just really like and find comforting on a man. This is one of my absolute favorites, and that Boozy opening for Boozy lovers definitely is a favorite. This is one that should really be, I mean, if you can, I think this should be in every guy's collection. This is just such a staple to me that, yeah, it just is. It's a staple. But don't worry, I have other ones for you too for variety. Another one that's been around for a while, since 2020, that wasn't someone that jumped on it right away. I wasn't wowed immediately because the shipping to me always jostles the heck out of it, that I really need this brand to sit after international shipping. It just really kind of knocks it around. And it got lost in shipping for 3 months. So it was really upset when it got to me that I just wasn't impressed and I never got that first wow moment. But after sitting, oh my goodness, I just like it gets better and better. And it's by Fragrance du Bois Minuit at Demi. There's this slight booziness to this. It is not a heavy booze, but again, that's probably why I like it, because it's this delicate booziness to it that just kind of adds to that flavor of it versus overwhelming it, making you feel like you're going to get a DUI from your fragrance, you know? But yeah, it's like a delicate, boozy flavor almost. Like you're getting, like you put rum extract in there, not actual rum. Like, so you get that scent that's going on versus actual, like, overwhelming booze. It is a sweet caramel with a pop of cardamom or something like pepper. So it's pimento pepper, this like spark of pepper in here. There's a dash of coffee kind of swirled with that caramel, almost like, what kind of coffee would that be? Would that be like a macchiato? What is like coffee with some milk, a swirl of caramel in there? And that's kind of what it smells like to me, because you're getting a lot of that vanilla, you're getting coffee, you're getting, it's really like a gooped up Starbucks where you're like, is there coffee in there? Because there's so much other sugars, I couldn't tell there was coffee in there. More like that. But, and then that spark of cardamom that I really enjoy, almost like the way Luna Feline has this spark of pepper in there. It's really, this is actually a really good, fun fragrance. And that pimento in there really makes it different because it really does pop in this fragrance. But the coffee is delicate and just makes it more comforting, along with that caramel vanilla sauce. And I would say syrup, not like a hard caramelized. It's more of like a drizzle on there, like drizzle sauce in there. Yeah, I like this one. So Minuit Demi. Now, if you're in cold weather and you're looking for that knockout, boozy, intense fragrance, but you're not into like tobacco vanille, but you want something like that, something with punch and volume that's gonna like push out and is gonna really cut through that cold. Plum and Cognac by Sense of Wood. This was a hit like in 2020 and everyone was talking about it. And then now everyone's kind of quiet about it. This one definitely has cinnamon in it, but it's a cinnamon that I am okay with because I'm really funny with cinnamon. It's a note that can irritate the heck out of me really easily. It's definitely more of this really intense plum, soaked in booze, a lot of vanilla, is syrupy, intense fragrance with that cinnamon that really adds to that punch. You've got pearl balsam in here. It's a very intense fragrance. Ooh, am I like spilling this? What's going on here? Oh, this is a twist top. Oh, would you look at that? Huh. And I'm spilling it everywhere. No wonder why it smells so intense to me. Well, that explains why like 3 rooms in my house smell like this right now. I had no idea this was open. Oh, wow. I'm making a mess. This one has rum in it. I like rum. This one, yeah, it's definitely a lot of rum and a little bit of plum and vanilla, cinnamon, syrupy. Ah, there are some woods in here, like dry vetiver, that helps offset it, but it really does stay like that. And I think it appeals to that tobacco vinny kind of person that wants something different and is definitely not as expensive as Tom Ford, who I don't know what crack he's doing because his prices are like insane right now, like crazy train. But anyway, I've also had people ask me about the bottle and the color, like why are some black, some are cream colored, bone colored. When you order from the website, you can choose what color bottle you want and what color cap you want. You customize it, and then that's what he chooses, and he does them to order. I happen to want the bone color, so that's what I ordered. But you can choose, and that's why you'll see them look different colors, whether it be on Fragrantica on our different person's review. It's not a formulation difference, just your personalized bottle. Okay, now one of my all-time, what in the, one of my absolute favorites for a few years now that I just think is phenomenal, and not enough people know about it. And it's by Les Indemodables, and it is Vanille Havane. For starters, I love this brand. I love this house. It is so phenomenal. They have several favorites of mine. But this one is the hit from the house. If you were to pick one, it is by far this one. And man almighty, oh, it is a tobacco, vanilla, rum, cocoa. There's some dried fruits and leather and amber, but it's really this, it is the best tobacco vanilla booze fragrance. Like it is. It is just so beautifully done, so addictive, so incredibly good. I mean, this is one I'll wear, although I do think it's a little just, it's a touch masculine. I just think it smells better on men, but kind of like tobacco vanilla, it's definitely unisex in that same accord. But there's something about it where it is just so amazing on a man. It just doesn't feel feminine on a woman, although in colder weather, unlike my weather, I think it would do really well, but it's just so good. Like it is incredible. It is definitely more on that vanilla side. You're going to get an intense vanilla. Definitely the tobacco is there, and we're talking a good Cuban tobacco here. But it's really this boozy vanilla with that other stuff I mentioned in there. And those dried fruits really make a difference and kind of emphasize that vanilla and make it a more complex kind of vanilla in here. Um, blows away Naxos. If you're thinking Naxos with booze, tobacco, vanilla, this blows it away. As popular as Naxos is, I like this 4 times more. It's a hands down winner against Naxos. Like it's no competition. Let's put it that way. No competition. And Naxos is really popular. But Naxos is probably a little more affordable because it's been out there for a while and you can find it everywhere. So there's like pricing wars on it. Whereas this is a little more difficult. You're going to have to go to a perfume boutique, or I went to the site itself and I think they were having a holiday sale or something a few years ago. So I don't even remember, but that's how I ended up with a little bit more from the collection. But it's just so much better. Like once I got a decant of this sent to me from a friend, I was just like, wow. Yeah. let me take a minute to say, let me know down below some of your favorite boozy ones, especially if you're in a cold environment, because in the cold environment, these really excel. And I don't get too many days in a cold environment. In fact, I opened the windows, one, because these fragrances are so intense, but two, because I wanted that cold air in here to kind of meld with these fragrances, because that's where it really excels. Talking about Xerjoff, though, the one I would choose over Naxos is Tony Iommi Monkey Special. Now, this one I like. It's definitely more original. I've seen mixed reviews on this, but personally, I really like it. This to me is, and that's why I'm wearing a moto jacket, is that rough and tumble hot guy. The like really hot guy in a leather jacket, maybe some distressed jeans. His hair looks disheveled intentionally, like with gel and it's disheveled. And it's this, like, you want to get to know him. Like, you want to get to know this fragrance. And every time you see something a little bit different, yet it's still so like distant, and you still don't understand it. And you're like, oh, that's something sweet and creamy in there. Wait, is that cinnamon I get? And every time, wow, it's like sweet, creamy, and sexy today. Other times, it's like this pop of cinnamon I'm getting, or that leather and caramel vanilla. Like every time it's a little different. And it's like that sexy guy you want to get to know, but he's always an arm's length away. And he's just, there's something out of reach, right? Just, yeah, it's this complex fragrance that you just can't quite understand. And that's the allure, is you can't figure it out. And you got to know more. And you got to go in for more. And it's just this hard to get. That's what it is. It plays hard to get. And there's something sexy about hard to get, right? Today it's sweet, creamy, vanilla, a little bit of labdanum, giving it like this bite, like this texture to it. There's definitely a little bit of leather in here, and sometimes I get that leather quite a bit. And other times, like right now, I don't smell it at all. And it's more creamy and sweet. Oh, there's rose. See, I'm getting the rose today. I'm getting the rose and the vanilla and something sweet and a little labdanum. But there's creamy, I'm getting that tonka bean and a little bit of that sweet patchouli in here. Every time is different, I'm telling you. And that's what I love about this one. And it changes throughout the wearing, it evolves. And that's what I just think is so sexy about Tony Iommi. So if you just try it and you're like, yeah, I don't get it, I don't like it, try it again, because I promise the next time you spray it, you're going to get something different. And that's what I really like about it. It's exciting, this one. Yeah, today it's smelling more like Nightbridge to me, which is Cambridge, which is so weird to me that I'm really getting the rose and the vanilla in here. That is so crazy at this deep dry down. Wow. Okay, another popular boozy one that I, again, prefer in a man, but again, I'm not a boozy person. So take that with a grain of salt here, because a lot of these women love, but I prefer smelling them on a man, just that whole category in general, except for like Demi and a few of these here. But we have Argos Triumph of Bacchus. Again, rum. I think I just like rum in booze or cognac. I'm not big on the whiskeys. And again, I just find the whiskeys to be more masculine. Champagne I like, but I don't own any with champagne. I think of Atelier des Ors. They have the 2 new ones from last year. Is it like Pink Me Up, maybe? I kind of want to get that. I actually really liked it, but it's for warmer weather. Oh, I get a lot of tonka bean in this one, the dry down, but it opens more with that boozy pop. Oh, you definitely get like a rum punch in the beginning. Definitely boozy. With a little bit of peach, and the apple just kind of brightens it up. And it's very overwhelming in the beginning. You might not like the first 5 minutes if you don't like intense boozy. If you like boozy, you are gonna suck that up the first couple minutes if you're really into boozy fragrances. But the dry down, it lets up. And that's what I like about this one, is if you hang tight and you're just loving that booziness, the booziness passes. I don't like boozy going straight through. And this really, like, the tonka takes the lead in this dry down. And it's this creamy vanilla sandalwood, a little bit of a little bit of tobacco, but really that tonka bean. Oh, yeah, there's a little bit of jasmine in here too, but it really is this creamy dry down with that touch of booze that lingers in here. And it really still has a little bit of that boozy flavor from that rum, but it's not overwhelming like in the first few minutes where it's really intense rum that you have to enjoy boozy fragrances. Man, this one's good. Yeah, this is definitely like a creamy tonka. Sandalwood, vanilla kind of dry down with that booze still in there. Triumph of Bacchus by Argos. Let me also stop for a minute and do some giveaway winners because I have some fantastic winners here. And um, let's do the Micallef winner. Yeah. And I have a surprise for you. If you haven't noticed, there's a trend. I keep surprising you with additional winners. So I talked to Micallef, and being that Advent is over now, I asked them if they would do 2 winners for me because there was such an overwhelming response and so many people that hadn't tried a lot of Micallef that I have 2 winners, which makes me really excited. And again, it's global. So I just picked randomly and they're going to ship directly once they get back after the new year because they are on break right now, taking a vacation. So it will ship to you. I will forward that information to them. So yeah, let's slide over to that. Even though the year is coming to an end, I still think this is such an amazing collectible piece with all of the entire collection in here, men's, women, everything. I personally, like, gosh, I love this thing. I would even like write what's in here. And it's like your little, keep them. Oh, this one looks low. Anyway, and then also you have one up here. And then you have this up here, the nectar. And let's see, the winner I'm going to put up on the screen is Angela D8487. How exciting! Thank you so much for watching me from the beginning. That makes me super happy. I love seeing that. I'm gonna put this here. So I am gonna pull a second winner. And I have a new face. I don't recognize this person, but Nadia HGL 3203. Congratulations. You are the other winner. So again, if you just send me your information via Instagram DM or my email, they will both be in the description box. I will have Micallef get these straight out to you and you can start the new year off right. I'm so excited for you. Okay, let's move on. Now, one that's a little bit more on the affordable side, but still gives a really good punch of booze, is by Private Mood Vanilla et Cognac. Cognac again. See, I like certain kinds of boozes. And this one keeps the cognac with almond vanilla in here. So it definitely carries that boozy kind of scent with tonka again. I'm seeing a lot of tonka in these fragrances. So it's this almond vanilla tonka, which really go well together and just kind of bounce off each other and resonate with each other a lot and give this creamy, sweet kind of feel with the cognac. And it's, oof. There is Gaiac wood in here, but I don't really get that. I think it's kind of a little bit of what's giving that longevity and performance on this one, because this one is really still going, and these have been here for at least an hour, these strips, so I could get the full dry down. Yeah, that cognac just keeps going on this one. Cognac and vanilla. More patchouli than Gaiac would. But yeah, this is definitely like a cognac, almond, tonka, vanilla is what I get. So if you're liking a boozy scent, this is a good one. I don't know, what are these, like 150 for the 100 ml? So they're a little bit more on the affordable side than all the other ones on here. And yeah, if you like boozy scents, this is a good one. Let's see. The next one is a little different from the others. Smelling them all side by side, there's a lot of common denominator in the ones I chose. But this one's by Nuit Nomade, and it's Suma Oriental. And I don't hear about this one as much, but it's definitely one that I really like. And this one is cocoa pod and rum. So I really get a more gourmand kind of opening on this one. But what's really interesting is this one has the most floral kind of dry down. Although there's no florals listed in here, it has a fresher floral aspect to it. What is in here? Cypriol oil. Yeah, it doesn't really list any florals, but I get this lightness to this one compared to all the other ones that are very boozy, vanilla, tonka, creamy, like tobacco, all these rich notes. There's something a little bit airier about this amber, not as thick and heavy. There's something, it's more like a fresher patchouli is what it is. Like patchoulis can, I've learned patchoulis can go 1,000 different ways, but the patchouli in here is fresh. It's not very woody. It's not, it's almost like this like mintiness almost to it. Like root beer like kind of essence to it. But it's really nice because of that. Yeah, it's kind of like root beer like. I like this one. Wow. Yeah, definitely different. So some of them can be a little redundant to them, where this one is definitely slightly different and then opens with that rum vanilla that I love. Let's see. Oh, yeah, intense alcohol. Oh, yeah, this is like a rum opening for sure. You get that blast of booze and then that cocoa starts to come through. Interestingly, there's no vanilla in here. Maybe that's why it doesn't have that same sweet accord going through here, but there's sweetness from the other notes, but it doesn't have that rich vanilla in here, which keeps it a little fresher. This one's really neat. Suma Oriental by Nuit Nomade. Okay, probably my favorite in here. It's 100% unisex, this one, so it's my favorite for everyone, but especially for women, is Paradis de Sens Nirvana. This one just is so much better for women. There's something more sweet, gourmand, boozy about it. Certainly more gourmand. There's something winter dessert about it again, kind of like Broceliande from Sora Dora, but I like this better than the Sora Dora. Yeah, this one has sweet myrrh in it. This one is booze, creamy tonka bean, a little bit of vanilla, some spices like cinnamon and nutmeg, maybe a little bit of nutty hazelnut, like roasted hazelnuts. Something very baked goods about this one, along with that booze. So it's like you're after dinner and you're having cookies and after dinner drinks, kind of a vibe to it where it's booze and desserts. Oh, this one's good. And it dries down to this cashmere wood vanilla with a hint of that rum again, which I really like. Yeah. And it definitely doesn't go too boozy or too masculine with that booze. A lot of times when there's tobacco and a heavy booze, I feel like it goes masculine. It's not something that I want to wear. But yeah, this one is so good because it has that gourmand aspect to it of the desserts, but not overly foodie, that I like this one a lot. Yeah, Nirvana by Paradis Descents, and I love this red bottle too. Yeah, those are my 10 favorite boozy fragrances, which for me is huge because, again, it's not a scent profile that I tend to gravitate to because my weather doesn't get very cold. And I prefer that in cold weather where it really works well. I mean, gosh, where are we at here? It's late at night. I think it's been like 60 degrees at night. It's not that cold here yet. And I think these do better in the under 55 degrees. And when it gets really cold, they really work well. So it's a little harder for me, this one, but man, those are good ones to me that are just ride or dies over the last like 3, 4 years. Those are the best ones. So those are my favorites. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button because I think these giveaways are going to have to start going into January because I still have more and I'm having fun. Are you having fun with them? I'm kind of having fun with them. So yeah, you're gonna want to pay attention, hit that subscribe button so you can see if you won in the next video, because I don't like putting it in the comments. It attracts the bots, and then you get bots responding to you, and then it's a mess, and I don't want to attract that. So I put the winners in the video. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Mwah.